Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, leave a comment if you have any questions or like to see any other of these types of videos. But in today's video, we're going to show how to do the diamond wrap, how to lay it out, and how to actually do the wrap itself. Now, there's several ways to do the laying out of this wrap. You could use a string to go across to hold the string, or a piece of thread on there like this to get a straight line. Or I have this jig down here that I use. It's pretty reasonably priced. I got this one at mudhole.com. It's a CRB butt wrapping alignment tool. It's really handy, helps keeps everything straight. What I like to do is wrap a piece of tape around the butt where you're going to do it. And then I'll cut the piece of tape in half. You do not want to cut into the blank. But you cut that piece of tape in half. I cut through both lines here. That one's not needed. So that's how big the wrap is. So let's see on our tape measure how big that is. I say we got 1, 2, 3. It's about 37 centimeters. Alright, so let's get our wrapping. Let's slide our brackets out of our way here to hold this thing together for me. It just slides in there and locks right in place. Alright, so 37. I'm just going to use 40 for the sake of argument, and I'll show you how I find the center. So we're going to mark it at 4 millimeters all the way. 4, 8, we got 12, 16, 20, 24, and 28. I'll take that out. I use one of these Crayola washable markers on there. So now I'll take that piece of tape we had and I'll fold this piece of tape in half, right directly down the center. And then I will lay it on the blank. I'll use a different piece of tape here just to hold it so you guys can see what's going on. I'll put this piece of tape on here next to this. Now we know that line right there is our straight line. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this piece of tape right even with that straight line. Like that. And then I know that this is the halfway point. That's exactly halfway on the other side of the blank. So now we'll go back into the jig. It's on the 4, right? And that's actually right on the 16. But we don't want to be exactly the same on the other side. Now this one we're going to want to start on 2 because we want to do half of it. So then we'll go 2, then we'll do 6, because we're going to do increments of 4. 4, or 10 rather, 14. We're going to get rid of that 16. And then 4 more is 18, 22, and 26. We're not going to wrap this whole thing and waste the thread. But that's it. We've got this thing laid out where we want it. So I can take it out of the jig. We'll get the jig out of the way. So I know those are in a perfect straight line. What I've done before I got that thing is I would lay a string down it, tape the string on it real tight, tape that string right down the center real tight, and then if let me show you. If you lay that string on there, see, it'll be perfectly straight. And that's what I would do, is I would lay this string on there, tape it in the center, and then put my marks on it. And I used to even wrap over the top of the string, and then after I got 3 or 4 wraps on, pull it out. But I don't do that no more because I don't feel the need to it. I'm comfortable enough with it where I don't feel I need to do it. So let me get this camera straightened out here. I'll show you this real quick. We'll do a few colors so you can see. I actually got some pink here. It should be bright. And let's see, I got some blue. Those 2 colors ought to make it nice and bright. So let's get this blank in the holder here. I'll put my rubber bands on it to hold it nice and tight. I don't think I need it that tight. But we'll get this going. All right, that's tight enough. So first thing I do is, let me slide this down so you can see. I put some, I use painter's tape because it's less sticky. I put it down, stick it to the rod, spin it around so that it can stick to itself. People use double-sided tape, but this roll here that I've got of this painter's tape, I've done, I can't even count how many rods, I've lost count. But that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do that in a few spots because I'm not going to do this whole thing. This is just a little 2-foot blank I use for videos. So I'm not doing it on a rod. I'm actually just doing it to show you guys how this works. Okay, so there's our, if you notice, see, this one is right here. And then when you turn it around, we're dead center in between these 2. So that's what the goal is going to be here. So what we're going to do, we're going to stick it to our sticky tape, wrap around a few times so it's on there good. And then we're going to cross our dots. And I'm spinning it by hand and just holding the spool thread in my hand. If you don't get it, you just back up a little bit and keep moving your hand until it's in the position that you want. I put that tape way too far back, but that's no big deal. There's no dots on that end because I wasn't planning on going that far. But the dots are right here. So these are the ones that will count. It's a lot like the chevron wrap, but you don't just keep starting at one point and doing one side of it. Just keep hitting all your dots. Now I went on the outside, I went on, let me move it, let me get over here where you can see what I'm talking about. I went on this side of the first one last time. Now on this side, I'm going on the opposite side of it. So you definitely want to change. You don't want to be doing the, I'll cross that thread. You don't want to be going on the same side each time, or you're not making a diamond, you're making the chevron wrap. This is what, there's not much difference in it. It looks way different when you're done with it, but if you don't follow the same pattern, it will just look like a chevron wrap. It's hard to tell when you're doing your first one. Now this one I went on the top again, so I'm going on the bottom of this one. So that's, you try to do the same way each time. So if I did the bottom of that last one, I know I got to go on the bottom on this one. So we're just going to do these. This will be the last one of this color, and then we'll switch over so you could actually start seeing how it looks. Okay, we'll cut this. And in between each color, I normally go through and clean up all this stuff. Just tighten it up with your burnishing tool. So now I'm going to go on the top with the pink. It's actually a pretty cool color. I just did a rod in this color. It really don't matter so much on the very first color you do, but when you do that second color, you're going to notice it right away if you're doing it right or wrong. So we went on the, I would call that the top of that one. So that's what we're going to do on this one. See, now that we've done that, we know that we got to go on the other side of it because we already got pink on that side. I don't know how good this camera is picking it up, but you'll start to see a little diamond forming in the center now. And there's all different kinds of things you can do. You can start out and do a fade diamond wrap where you start out with, like, let's say 6 of one color, and then your next color you drop down to 5 wraps of that color, and so forth. Or start out with a couple and then go to add to it. There's so many different things you can do. That's why I love rod building. There's just so much, you're always learning something new. Okay, and there's our complete diamond. And you can just keep adding and keep adding to it and make the pattern bigger and bolder. I'm gonna stop it at this point just to show you. Pull this up closer once I get here and wrap this in. And all I'm doing is spinning around the tape. You can see it on the other end. My camera's not that great, so doing what I can. But this is how I lay out my wraps and how I close them off. I'm gonna cut this. I'm not gonna go into a crazy big full wrap Maybe I will, but I don't know yet. Let's see if you can see it. But that'll give you a nice diamond wrap. Remember, you go on this side, the top side, like on this side, on the way over, and then on the way back, you come back on this side. So normally you would come around, you go all the way down to that end, then you wrap it, and then you come back on this side of this stripe, and then you wrap it, and then you come back on the bottom of this stripe, and then when you come back on the bottom of that stripe, and then after a few, few threads, you tighten it up. But then you just keep adding layers, and you can make it into whatever you want. But that's how I lay out the diamond wrap, and how I perform it. And there's all different, you can do any color, and then the real pattern starts when you start layering it. You know what I mean? You start getting those layers in it, and that's when it starts really popping. Don't forget to subscribe, like the video, leave a comment. Let me know if you have an easier way to do it or what. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I will try to keep the videos coming.